was tried by a racist all-white
And
jury.
wasn't your accuser Nelson Rockefeller?
Yeah.
I mean, whose side are we who are we gonna believe here, folks? But go ahead.
Yeah. He doesn't mention Rockefeller, how Rockefeller had 43 people killed and 80 of us shot and wounded, maimed for life. And he doesn't tell about Rockefeller suppressing, ordering Anthony B. Simonetti and Gerald Lefkowitz of the Manhattan District Court to suppress all evidence into a separate grand jury for the murders that were committed by the state troopers. But yet he just says, let's just think of the poor family, William Quinn's family, of the guard that was killing guys left and right, and an avowed member of the Ku Klux Klan.
Right. I mean, listen, John, I wouldn't, splitting the sky, I want to have compassion for the families of the agents at Pine Ridge involved in the Leonard Peltier affair. Okay, I want to have some compassion for those families. I'm sorry that anyone gets killed,
sure.
but when you send these federal agents in and when these people act with this utmost violent authority, there are going to be repercussions, and that doesn't mean that Leonard Peltier is not a political prisoner and enemy of the state.
That's right. That's exactly right. And so now here's this guy that puts this out there. Now all of a sudden, all of the work that I've done for the last 8 years, relentless, all the work that I got, all of them gets trashed in a moment's notice. Now I really didn't care about being on no honor roll list. I'm not out for a popularity contest.
Right.
I do my work because I believe in the principles of the Bill of Rights and the U.S. Constitution, because the U.S. Constitution was modeled after the Guyana Goa, the great law from my people, the tenets of democracy, like the two-thirds majority vote, the people's referendum, women's equality, the right to national self-defense, and so on and so forth. The whole parliamentary and congressional proceedings was modeled after the system of known as the Guyana Goa, the great law of the Iroquois people from 700 years ago, and that was quoted by the founders of the American Revolution, especially by Benjamin Franklin in his diaries and his documents. So I am one that upholds as a peace warrior. I uphold the rule of law within the Confederation of the Six Nations Iroquois Confederacy.
Right, and we do what we got to do. I mean, unless people were in Attica and they were in that riot that you were in, they really have no right to judge. And listen, I want to say right now, for anybody listening to this, anyone else who has a problem with what we're saying today, John, they're welcome to come on the show, give their side of the story. But
bring it on.
But this looks too much like self-censorship. What I see is a lot of these 9/11 truth people, they want to be civil, they want to be quiet, and they want to be respectful. How do we get all this attention against Obamacare? People got up, they got sick of being civil and silent and respectful, and they got up and they started yelling at these guys, and this has captured the imagination of the country. So I'm not one of these people that believe we all need to be meek little mice up there, all little Gandhis who just are polite and nice all the time. Well, we're literally accusing our government of treason.
Well, Jack, I agree with that for the most part, but more so, I highly suspect that this guy is one of many, many agent provocateurs operating within the 9/11 truth movement. There are many people operating as agent provocateurs, and if this guy is not getting paid by the government, by CSIS, he should demand a salary and back pay.
I've gone up against some of these people myself, John. And
I know you have.
I say, I mean, look, we don't want credit. I was, the day after 9/11 on the radio, well, the day during 9/11 on the radio for hours and hours, and I've been on the case ever since. There was no truth movement. I'm not looking for any gold stars here. I
remember that.
I'm not looking for any, credentials, but these people always seem to take people like you and me who get out and really just say what has to be said and telling the truth. It's supposed to be a truth movement.
That's right.
And then they lambast us and they try to say, well, we don't have credibility or we're making them look bad. And isn't that kind of what's at the crux of all of this?
Yes. And then so subsequently, but look, Jack, I mean, you have brought to light so much in-depth stuff and some key players. I mean, I was totally stoned when I heard the interview you had there with Richard Andrew Grove. I mean, that one of many of your shows getting into the core of who was behind 9/11. But
we brought the late Tim Russert on our show and grilled him over 9/11.
And it's my belief that Cheney and his assassination ring took Russert out because Russert was there. He was the contradiction to his bull crap lies about the timetable that he was in the bunker. Just like Norman Mineta, they're lying about Norman Mineta is basically saying that he was lying about the time that he was in the bunker, because if it puts him there any earlier, then there's going to be that he gave the command to bring down all planes in the sky, which means that it would take out any Air Force and air defense going up there, man, to knock out the so-called terrorist in this false flag operation. He's also the one that allowed that missile. Right? That missile to hit the Pentagon and blow it up, right? And kill. There's a woman in there, I forget her name, but she's suing right now because there was bombs going off in the building. She's suing right now, a big case, before they got hit with the missile. Right? So is she in the office? And she's damaged from it. There's a big case coming up. And he's also the one that ordered, right, the air defense to blow 93 out of the sky.
Yeah, there's a lot of witnesses that are meeting unfortunate ends. Dead men tell no tales.
That's right.
John,
now,
you know well. You've seen this all your life.
I've seen it all my life. I've been at the brunt of it all my life. They attempted to kill me 8 times, but yet every time they have attempted to kill me, it has not happened, because I believe there's a higher power walking with me that they'll ever be able to touch. But let me tell you this, Jack, and all your listeners, and this is the reason why on March the 17th of this last year, oh no, I'm sorry, it was this year. It seems like a year ago already, but this year, I attempted to arrest George Bush, a citizen's arrest, in Calgary, Alberta, when he came in over here to give a talk to all of the businessmen in Saudi, Alberta.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Saudi Arabia, Saudi, Alberta.
Right.
Unsurrendered Indian land, the Rubicon Cree. All their oil is being shipped out to the U.S. The biggest supplier, Canada has become the biggest supplier with the Israeli interest in also owning major oil fields in Indian country, selling it to the United States. I have no problem, man, with doing business, but all of these, taking stuff that has not, in lands that have not been surrendered title has not been transferred or bought or sold or negotiated with, just been stolen.
Yeah, I think the people of Canada deserve to know what's happening. And, we have done massive exposés on Maurice Strong and the Bronfman family up there, who never get mentioned in the media, who seem to be controlling everything. And when speakers try to go into Canada, like yourself or David Icke or anyone else, I mean, they get arrested, the events get shut down.
That's right.
We have a lot of listeners in Canada, John, who appreciate what you did up there in Calgary. What ended up happening with that?
What happened then is I gave the RCMP or the Calgary Police that had a massive line protecting the interests of the oil men that were paying $100 or $400 a plate to hear what Bush had to say. Right? I don't think Bush could fill my ears with 40 cents worth of it, any real intelligence, let alone $400 worth. But notwithstanding, I know, and I have witnessed, as you have and your listeners have witnessed, all the lies told by the Bush-Cheney administration about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and Afghanistan.
We're going to pick
we
up.
know that their real interest
Hang with us. We're going to break here. He's a scattergun, folks. It's John Boncour splitting the sky with us on the program today. Deadline Live. I'm Jack Blood. Stay with us. He'll come right back. I hope you do too.